okay, I look shiny as fuck. The one benefit about doing your podcast from home is you can literally come looking like this. That's also a negative. You know what I mean? That could be a negative. That could just be laziness. But to be honest with you, I was like, okay, I'm going to do a solo episode tonight or tomorrow. I'm just trying to like put it into my calendar, you know, the whole shish kebab scenario. And I was like, well, I'll just do it tonight because I'm in the mood. I'm ready to do it. And that's like a positive. That's pro of having a podcast studio in your home. But then I was like, the thought of putting makeup and like doing my hair sent me over the edge. So I decided we're not doing makeup and hair because that's how I started off with Adultish Whines. Well, Carolyn and I were in a studio, but then it was at my kitchen counter with no makeup in my gym clothes and fuck it. And you know what? I've had a fucking emotional weekend. Cheers to that. And not me realizing too, all the way. Oh yeah, I gotta keep track of time. Woo, not me. Let me just double check it's at 7. Can you imagine if I miss this meeting because I'm doing my podcast? 7 p.m. Okay. I realized right before this, I had a glass of white wine, as I typically do, before, like while I'm just thinking about what I'm going to say and organizing my thoughts. And I realized I have a meeting with Malaysia at 7 p.m. tonight. A client in Malaysia, prospective client in Malaysia. And here I am having my second glass of wine. I'm fine. It'll be fine. But like technically it's outside of work hours, you know, but like never had a couple drinks and then taken a work call. It's going to be fine. I think I'm going to get the deal. You know what I mean? I think it's going to be the thing that gets me the deal. Welcome back to another episode of Adultish Whines. It's your girl P Honey. I'm loving these solo episodes and y'all liked it. So I love it. You like it? I love it. You like it? I love it. Loved the new structure where I'm talking about like a specific topic, whether it's something in my life or something else. Today's kind of fitting because I just mentioned I had an emotional ass weekend. So this episode will be coming out a little bit delayed from the emotional weekend, but me, what you see is what you get. I had a toughie, guys. I had a toughie. It was the 10-year anniversary of my mom's death, which don't worry, I think I've got all the tears out. Like, I don't think I have another one to cry, which is another reason why I look so crazy right now. I went to the gym today and my trainer normally takes some videos of me and I was like, oh, I look so swollen. Like it's obviously from the crying, from the drinking, from the bad food, binge eating, if you will. Like it's been a tough one. So, but we're getting through it the way we know how. And that's what matters. So I'll be getting to all that in a minute, but let's recap the past few weeks. I always have to I organize my thoughts beforehand, but what did I do? Okay, rodeo. I'm rodeoed out. In Houston, Texas, we've got the rodeo from February 22nd, third week of February or so into I think it's all the way through March. It's exhausting. I know people that go every single day, and it's honestly not that. If you think about living in Los Angeles and getting to Dodger Stadium, actually it's probably pretty similar. The trek, it's the driving or the Ubering or the parking or the shuttling or the lines. It's a whole to do. But the people that go every day, I think, are people that have VIP situations, so that totally makes sense and works out for them. But what was I saying? Oh yeah, so the rodeo, there's performers, there's the first 3 days it's called the cook-off, and it's the pre-party to the rodeo. So there's 100, maybe hundreds of tents to go to, and they're all very exclusive. You need an exclusive wristband, or some tents sell tickets, but I don't know. Basically, Carolyn is on the committee, and a couple of my other friends are here too. So that's how I get the tickets. They're very valuable, this is a fun time, which it is. So went to the cook-off, and I was able to go last year. I think last year I had more fun at the cook-off. I don't know. We got there earlier last year. This year we got there just too close to food time, too close to eating time, too close to feeding time. What do they say for animals? And then you have to just get there. You stand in a line to get your ticket. Then you stand in line to get a drink. Then you stand in line for hours to get your food. And then it's packed on the dance floor, and then you leave. So it was just, I don't know, a little bit of a cluster this time around, but it was still fun. Next year, I want to get there like very early and just like come fed already, like kind of don't care about the barbecue. Like would rather not stand in line this year for the food because it really does take up like an hour and a half maybe. And the food's great, of course. But anyway, so that was really fun. And then I went to 2 different like performances at the actual rodeo. So I went to opening night, Blake Shelton, which honestly loved. Like, you guys know me, like I know songs and I know quotes from movies, but I don't know who sings them. So I like am never gonna know somebody's like full album. But I loved it. And it was like a quick and easy show. It was like maybe an hour and 15 minutes, hour and a half. He killed it. He brought out Gwen Stefani, which was great. They did one song together, I can't remember, but then their Honeybee song. So that was really fun and well done. And then I went to 50 Cent. Oh, and that was amazing. He had costume changes. He brought out different people. He brought out Jeremiah. It was amazing. It was like a full-on concert. So I loved that. Shout out to 50 Cent. I don't know why I think that man is so attractive. Like, he's kind of not, but he kind of is. He's kind of like that dog that you might think is not cute, but then is. I think it's his swag. I don't know. And I did hear he's going to be spending some more time here in Houston. We'll see. Still going strong. Like, again, I know I look like rough around the edges, but like still going strong on the feeling good, feeling great, feeling good, feeling great. How are you? That's a song. See, I don't know the artist. Genuine? Feeling good, feeling great. How are you? It'll come to me. But yeah, feeling good, feeling great. I do feel like I've been like slacking in my getting ready for work, putting a little bit of makeup on, being ready to go and like acknowledging that. And less creative with my outfits, which thank you for keeping me accountable. If I say this out loud, I'm going to get better. But I do feel like, again, I'm going to be talking about it in a minute. It has a lot to do with the fact that like my mom's 10-year anniversary was coming up. And it just like, it's crazy how grief affects you. It really is. Like, I do feel like it was taking so much out of me before it even got here. Like, I was preparing for the day for like a month, which is crazy to say. Anyway, again, gonna get to that in a minute, but, feeling good, feeling great. That's what I was saying. So, I was talking to someone, which not really talking to anymore, but it's all good. It's all love. It's all fine. I'm fine with it. And like, it was a true test. It was a true test, and I passed with flying colors. And the test was, are you going to stick around to someone who, which, like, remember I was talking about, this is Short King I'm talking about, treating you so well, doing really nice things, which he was, and I was enjoying it, and it was all great. If they're telling you they're not emotionally ready for a relationship, are you going to stick around with that person because like, well, the time you guys spend together is good and, oh, he's great and, well, it's fun and, oh, he's cute and this and that? The answer is no. It's not a multiple choice answer. The answer is absolutely fucking no. If I've done any growth or any learning about myself at all, it's that I don't want to hang around with somebody who's not emotionally ready for a serious relationship because that is what I'm ready for. So, Short King, bless his soul, we are no longer doing the thing, which is fine. Maybe more to come on that. You know how I do. Later down the road. Maybe more to come on that down the road. But anyway, no, great guy. Fun time. He came at, like I mentioned in my last solo episode, he came at such a good time in my life. He taught me a lot about what I want, a lot about what I don't want. And you know what he taught me most of all? If they want to, they will. If they don't, they won't. And I believe that wholeheartedly. So I was tested. I passed the test. And the test is, by the way, being graded by myself. Like, I'm past the test because I'm learning. I'm growing. I'm excelling. I'm adapting to, wow, it is still so light outside. Oh my God, the time change. I just looked outside the window. It's closed, but I can see this light shining through. Oh, how fun. I'll be able to do my afternoon walks in the afternoon. This is great. Okay, So I think I sidetracked there for a second. Sorry about that. But anyway, yes. So the marathon continues on to the next. These dating apps, though. Oh my God, you guys, I posted that thing about the guy who left me a voicemail pretending he was a tow truck company. Let me tell you the whole story. Let me tell you how that happened. And like, yes, it is funny. Some of you guys are like, oh, like points for creativity. Yeah, it was creative. It was creatively psychotic. Here's what happened. We're chit-chatting on the Hinge, as you do, as one does. And his profile was definitely giving, like, he's a lot of personality, which I like and I was potentially into, you know what I mean? But, like, I could tell that this guy was a big personality. And I was willing to dip my toe in. So we were chit-chatting back and forth, like he had some definitely like self-deprecating humor, like some sarcasm in there, which again, it's like possibly too soon for some of this stuff. Like we just don't know each other yet, but okay, I'm going to give you like the benefit of the doubt. And again, like love personality over not having any personality at all. So we were chit-chatting back and forth and he asked for my phone number. He asked for my phone number, which I don't, as you guys know, like typically like to give, but I'm feeling in a giving mood. You know what I mean? Like I'll give to charity. Just kidding. That was rude. I was just feeling, why not? Why the fuck not? So gave him my phone number. Then I'm out of my Hinge app. You know what I mean? Like I'm not checking my Hinge app every 5 minutes. So out of my Hinge app, and I don't know how long from that moment I get a phone call. I don't answer. I get a voicemail. I listen to the voicemail. And this was at least 20, 30 minutes like after I had this conversation with this man where I exchanged my number. And by the way, like I just, first of all, don't love when somebody calls you like that. Like if I knew it was him, I still wouldn't have answered. I was ass on couch watching Love is Blind. Like, do not bother me. What made you think that I was ready for a phone call? The math ain't mathin'. I don't know. And I'm not the only one who feels that way. I've talked to my girlfriends and we all feel the same. Well, not every single person I know, but like it's a thing. Like send a text message or like sure call, leave a voicemail, a regular one, and just be like, hey, this is so-and-so. Like would love to connect soon. Let me know when a good time to chat is. Like relax with the phone call. Anyway, so I get this voicemail. I'm laying ass on couch watching Love is Blind. Again, do not interrupt. And I listen to my voicemail and it's the tow truck. If you are wondering what I'm talking about, go to my profile. It's me on the green screen talking about, I play the voicemail for y'all. So someone was like, hey, like it's Mo from H-Town Towing. Your car has a broken window in it. Like, it's on our property. We need to get it figured out. Obviously my car's not in the tow shop. Like I know my car's right where I parked it outside my apartment. But then I'm like, oh my God, is this like a ploy to get me out to go look at if there's a broken window for me to go verify that my window's not broken, that this was a scam for someone to kill me? Like psycho. I Google H-Town Towing. It's a real towing company in Houston. Call them. They answer. I say, hey, someone called me by the name of Mo. They don't have a Mo working there. So all this is happening. I didn't know it was the guy that I gave my number on Hinge. Why would I have ever assumed that? So then a little bit later, like I'm just like kind of not freaked out, but just like, ew, another scam. Like I've had my identity tried to be stolen before. Like I'm just like, oh my God, scam. Like something to whine about for sure. And I go back on my Hinge. I don't know how much later, maybe another half hour, 45 minutes later. And the guy goes, called you didn't answer. I said, did you pretend to be somebody from a tow shop? He said, yes, LOL. What? Like, again, like, I do think it's funny. It's a funny joke, but it's a joke that you probably want to play on somebody that you know-ish. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, in this climate, in this world we live in, I just don't think the joke was appropriate. Like, I did laugh about it. I laughed about it enough to be like, wow, this is what I'm dealing with in this dating world. What the fuck? But I didn't laugh at it like, oh my God, that was the best prank ever. Because I don't know you, and I think that's very bizarre. And you freaked me out. And now your personality that was showing through in your Hinge profile is very much so too much for me. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I had a feeling, and so this confirmed it. And so now, Jesse, Mo, whatever your name is, you're out of there. If you're watching on YouTube, you saw me readjust to put this pillow under my knee like a fucking 97-year-old woman. Guys, I'm having hip issues again. And, I mean, when am I not? But it's very frustrating. And so that's actually my Sorrrrry hip. But I think that's just sore from my workout today. But I'm having pain in my non-Sorrrrry hip, which is just very... I posted something on my personal Instagram recently. Just like the mental versus physical state, like confusion, chaos, mess that you feel. It's so hard. It's so hard to battle. And it's hard to explain if you haven't had any physical ailments or something that like stopped you from being. But like, I mean, and this is such on a small scale. I'm not comparing my story to Carla's from, what episode was that? That was episode 77 with Carla, where she was involved in she was not the drunk driver, but a drunk driver hit her. And now she was a very like abled person. She was out and about and she became a quadriplegic after this car accident. Like, I feel like sometimes when I'm speaking about something, I have to take into account that like it could be worse, 100%. But I also want to just like validate my own feelings of pain and insecurities and confusion and things like that. So I'm like technically an able-bodied person. I'm 33 years old. No, 34. And sometimes I can't even walk a mile without my hip hurting. So I'm going through this like, this battle of like, what do I do? Like, so I'm doing this Be Active every day. I'm trying to see if I intentionally move my body every day, whether that's a mile and a half walk, whether that's a 20-minute yoga, whether that's a strength training session or Pilates or yoga. Can I get these hips? Can I get these hips working? It's so embarrassing. But so I'm giving that a go. But yeah, your girl is old. Your girl is, and is my mother to blame? You know what I mean? Is my mother to blame? That's a question that a lot of us want to know. Me at the front of the line, of course. But okay, let's get into my fucking mother. Some of y'all are not a part of the Dead Parent Club, and it shows. Or maybe some of you guys are just new and you don't know that we joke about it yet. I mean, you don't have to. It's not like a requirement, but like that's how you get the gold badges. That's how you get invited to the fun parties in the Dead Parent Club, is if you joke about it, laugh about it, have a little go about it. That's important. So you'll get there, and let me know if you need any guidance. You know what I mean? I'm here for you, paving the way. And some of you have had multiple dead parents, and you do it better than me. And I can't tell you how much I appreciate that humor. Okay, y'all. So I've said it a couple times already. March 8th was the anniversary of my mom's passing. It was the 10-year. And like, some years I just don't even... Like, it's sad to think about, when the day rolls around, it's like, damn, another year. And then I just kind of move on with my day, or I have a little bit of a think about a memory. I don't know. It's just thinking about 10 years without someone but your parent is wild. It's wild. It's thinking about what they've missed, what I've missed out on from her. Like, it just gets your mind spinning. I think that's why, obviously, it like took that big of a toll on me. Like I said, some years I don't even cry. I just kind of like move on with my day. This year was different. I could feel this day coming. I think the first time I thought about my mom's death anniversary this year was on my birthday. And I don't know why I thought about her on my birthday, but I did. And I started to think about like, oh my God. Oh, that's why. Because I was turning 34, and I remember when my mom died when I was 24. I moved into the Hermosa Beach apartment when I was 24. Like, I'm kind of weird with dates and numbers and stuff sometimes. So I was like, oh my God, like, I think my mom's going to be dead for 10 years. Whoa, that's crazy. A decade, a whole decade. And grief is so different from anyone. And I'm kind of like laughing and making fun of the fact, like, Dead Parents Club. Like, I'm kidding. Like, of course, some people don't find solace and relief in joking about their dead parent. Of course not. Of course not. I do. Because I'm sick. My therapist doesn't like it either, okay? She says it's bad. I'm not supposed to. Well, she didn't say I'm not supposed to. I mean, she's not going to tell me what I'm going to do. You know what I mean? I'm paying her. Anyway, I cannot get comfortable. These hips do lie. These hips be lying. These hips be lying. Can't have dirty socks on telly. Can't have my dirty socks on telly. No free feet pics either. Okay, here we go. That'll do. That'll do, pig. That'll do. So, I felt it coming. I've just felt this overwhelming sense of exhaustion and sadness. Kind of like, not overall life sadness, but just like sadness about thinking about my mom. And I've mentioned, like, this is kind of why I'm excited to start doing, like, specific topics on the podcast where I'll be able to, like, tell you about, like, literal portions or pieces of my life so you guys can understand better. But complicated relationship with my mom. But what I want to talk about for the main course. God, am I going to be okay on the sales call? I have had not even 2 glasses of wine and I'm tripping. I think it's the exhaustion and the sadness. Oh my God, now I'm getting the giggles. Okay, stop. What I want to focus on talking about to you guys, the whiners, about my mom this episode is because before I talk about some other things, like, I gotta verify some things with my sisters. It's like a very weird, blurry life I led, and not that they didn't lead blurry lives, but like if we all 4 put our stories together, we might come out with one complete one kind of thing. But my perspective of my mom, my mom, she was okay. So I'm gonna fast forward a little bit. I found out my mom was a drug addict when I was 16. So before 16, I thought my mom was the fucking shit. My mom could do no wrong. She was brilliant. She was smart. She was beautiful. She was tan, fake tanning bed tan, mind you, like every day, max amount of time. Like, oh, terrible. Maybe that was a leading cause for her death. It wasn't. Okay, sorry about the joke. She was beautiful. Blonde hair, blue eyes. She took pride, which is, it becomes a negative, but pride in her 4 beautiful daughters. Like, and that was something that she, like, always spoke about. So again, before I knew some things before the things became what they were just what they were. Like, then later in life, the constant vanity and things like that, then it all kind of makes sense, you know? But my mom was funny. She was resourceful in many ways. She was stealth. But no, she was, from what I knew about my life, was I was the youngest daughter of 4 girls. I was the youngest daughter of 4 girls, and my dad, to my knowledge, they divorced when I was 3. Then I saw him randomly. He came to drop something off at my grandparents' house when I was 7. We didn't have contact, but I just saw him. And the stories I were told, and again, like, I need to verify all of these, like, again, it's just like a blurry, you guys are like, get your story straight. Like, are you lying? No, it's just, that's how chaotic and blurry my life was. So I was told, and I do know that my dad was physically abusive, definitely mentally and emotionally abusive. And to some of us, if not all of us, and especially my mom, they ended up both being Alcoholics Anonymous and Narcotics Anonymous together. Again, I didn't know that till later. But I just thought my mom was, and my mom was deaf, by the way. My mom had a cochlear implant, so she could not hear. We spent, and I think that like I had such a close relationship with her because I took care of her. We all did. But it made me feel close with her. And then again, like fast forwarding later in life, it's like, oh my God, I was taking care of my mom. That's not right. But like, I loved it. You know, I always wanted to make sure she was taken care of or she understood what we were saying. And so she lip read. She didn't know sign language. She just lip read before she got her cochlear implant. And then with her cochlear implant, she actually didn't really do the updates and get all the surgeries that you're supposed to get. And that didn't really work to the best of its ability either. So she continued to lip read and rely mostly on that. And so just picture like if there were 4 girls and my mom, so 5 people sitting in a group and we're all just like talking, laughing, ha 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 ha. Oh my gosh, I'm going to go do this. I'm going to go do that. I'm going to go get food. I'm going to go do this. What are you doing later? And it's like, can you imagine like how left out that person feels when they can't follow the 4 people's conversation with their eyes? So I do remember like always kind of staying back and being like, Mom, we're going to go get food, and then we're going to Katie's friend's house, and then we're going to do this, and then we're going to, I'll be back by this time. Like, I do remember just like wanting to like caretake for my mom, but I loved it. So I was pretty fucking sure all my tears were gone, and they're starting to come back, but we are not going to let it. That's just to give you a little bit of a background. And then when I was 16, I think I'll save this story for a different day, but I did find out that my mom was addicted to drugs in her past and was still questionably on them, question mark. Is she? Was she? Yes, but she told me she wasn't. You know what I mean? So that's when our relationship changed from 0 to 16, thinking my mom was the absolute fucking shit and she was an angel on this earth and a survivor. She survived my dad, who mentally and physically abused her and us. She survived being deaf. She survived coming from Yakima, Washington, which was like a terrible place, but now it's popping up. Like, sorry, no shade, but it was questionable there for a minute and maybe still a little bit. Then 16 to 24, things changed. You know, I started to think about, oh, well, me caretaking my mom, that's not really what a 9-year-old, a 10-year-old, a 14-year-old should be doing. Her borrowing money from me, I started working at 14 in Washington State, and like her borrowing money from me is like not really what a loving, amazing person should be, or mom should be doing. My mom wasn't at my volleyball games, not because she was deaf and tired. It was because she was deaf and on drugs and having the heroin nod. You know what I mean? So like things just started to make sense. And again, I'm going to have to like make that a whole episode and really get my mind right. So sorry if you feel like you're on a little bit of a roller coaster ride. So do I. But I am the specific topic that I'm going to highlight this episode is, which you 3 different people wrote in to my poll when I did this like 2 or 3 weeks ago saying like, what do you guys want to hear about my solo episodes? And 2 to 3 people said, what was your move to California from Washington like? How did that happen? Are you from California or from Washington? What's the fucking deal? So that's the story I'm going to tell today. But to close up, like, I mean, this has to do with my mom, which is why it's on topic. 10 years she's been dead. Bless her soul. I think after all this time, like, and I've always kind of thought this, not that that helps or not, but she did the best she could with the disease she had. She did the best she could with how sick she was. She did the best she could with the cards that she was dealt, and I do fully believe that. Would I have liked it to be different? Yeah. Would I have liked a picture perfect childhood? for sure. But it's the way the fucking cookie crumbles, you know? So you gotta pick up, move on, get going, keep on keeping on. So the move to California from Washington. Okay, so a little bit of backstory. I was born until 7 years old in California, in Southern California. And then at 7 years old to 15 years old, I was in Yakima, Washington State, for y'all who always say like, oh, we're on the East Coast. No, Washington State. So I remember how it happened like yesterday. I have 3 older sisters. One stayed down. Megan stayed down in California the whole time. She never moved up to Washington, but like she would always spend summers and stuff with my grandparents, and come up occasionally. Then, so when we moved up to Washington, it was Courtney, Katie, and myself. I was 7, Katie was 10, Courtney was 14. With my mom, we moved in with my grandma and grandpa, who love them to death. Like, again, so much shit went down, but like, they're the bee's knees as well, you know? So we moved up there because my mom needed help and support. She had just divorced my dad, well, a few years prior. I don't know where that timeline gets muddied, but bottom line, we move up to Washington so my grandparents can help my mom raise us. And my sister Courtney had scoliosis, well, she has scoliosis, and she was having a lot of surgeries. And so I think that was like part of the reason why I understood that like my mom needed this help raising us or helping us. So we enroll into school. We're having just the best time. I just didn't know a single thing was wrong. You know what I mean? Like, which is just kind of great if you think about it. Like, I was just this happy-go-lucky, poor little white trash kid. I said the other day to somebody that, like, I can say someone's white trash because I used to be white trash and now I'm white recycling. I might get in trouble for saying that, but it's just like, it's true. You can't take the white trash out of someone, but you can take someone out of the white trash. And now I'm just recycling. Like, it's better, but it's still in the same family. You know what I mean? Still trash. So anyway, from 7 to 15, I'm just like living my best life at that time. So as you can see, one of my sisters is 3 years older. The other is 6 years older. As they graduate high school, they move back down to California because that's where we're from. So Courtney moves back down to California. Katie graduates and moves back down to California. So then it's just me, my mom, and my grandparents. And I'm 15. I'm loving life, but I am a bratty little bitch, I would call myself. Like, I was a goody two-shoes. I did stuff wrong, but, like, I was still a good kid. I don't know. Another story for another day. But I was just a bratty hormonal teenager. So like my grandparents would cook pancakes for dinner and I would fucking freak out. Like I'd be like, pancakes for dinner again, breakfast for dinner again. Like I don't want to live with my grandparents. My friends, I started to realize like my friends don't live with their grandparents and like things like that. I just started to realize differences. So basically one time I'm talking to my, the long distance ring. Did you guys ever have the ring that like signified someone was calling from long distance? I don't know. Is that a thing that everyone does? I'm not sure. So ended up like talking to my sister Katie on the phone, I think, and she's going to have to verify this story, but ended up talking to her and I was like just crying about the terrible life I was living up there in Yakima. And like, I mean, it's true. Like girls were getting pregnant like every other day. Like I was literally in middle school with pregnant girls. Like it was not a great place at that time. That is the truth. And so I think I was using that a little bit to my advantage. Just like, I don't want to be here anymore. I don't want to live with grandma and grandpa. And you guys are in California living your best life. And I want to come back and this and this and that and that. And then Katie was like, well, you should move to California. And then Megan got on the phone. I don't know if they were in the same place or maybe this was like the same day, but a different phone call. And Megan was like, yeah, that's fine. Let's do that. And so then I remember walking down in the basement where we lived. That sounds bad. I didn't live in the basement. My room was in the basement. Old house. It's fine. I wasn't being held captive. Walked down the basement where the laundry room was and my mom was in there. And I distinctly remember opening the laundry room like curtain. And I was like, either Megan or Katie was on the phone. I think it was Katie. And I was like, Mom, I'm talking to Katie on the phone, and she said I can move to California with her if you say it's okay. And my mom looked at me and goes, yeah, if you want to. And I was like, oh my God, she said yes. And so I was moving to LA. Just like that. I think that's how it went down. And so again, like at that moment, don't forget, I didn't know my mom had any issues until I was like 16. So at 15, I'm like, oh my God, this is the best thing ever. My mom's the coolest ever. She's letting me move down to California with my sisters. Like, I'm just going to be living the life. Like, I was telling all my friends in Yakima, like, I'm going back to LA. Like, sucks to be you guys here in Washington, but like, I'm going to go to LA. Gotta go. See you later. Stay in touch, you know? And I moved to LA at 15. I moved in. So my niece had just been born. She was born in April. And I moved down, I think, in June, May, June, July, maybe July. So, major negative shout out to the California school system, because you're supposed to, like, I could have just been abducted. You know what I mean? Like, you have to prove that somebody's your guardian. So I enroll for school. My sisters end up pretending to be my guardian. Like, I'm on the like, all you need is like 2 forms of identity. Like, your name is on a bill, your family name is on a bill or something. So, like, I moved in with my 18-year-old sister into an apartment where then I did not want to get a job. And my sister Katie said, bitch, you're getting a job, because my mom was supposed to be paying my rent and she stopped, I think, putting money into either Katie or Megan's account. I hope you guys are following. I know this is very twisted. She stopped putting money into the account. So Katie was like, oh, bitch, you're getting a job. So she took me over to Wood Ranch. And I, like, protested about it. I was wearing my swimsuit top, like, under a crochet top and jean shorts and sandals, and interviewed for the job right then and there. And they gave it to me. And, like, honestly, that's where a lot of my life changed at Wood Ranch, which I'm so thankful for. But, so yeah. So then I started paying, like, half of the rent, to my knowledge, because my mom was supposed to be paying my half. She stopped. I couldn't afford to pay my whole half. So I was paying half of my half, if that makes sense. And going to school, and that's that. So it's just crazy, like, to loop it back around to, like, my mom's, like, 10-year anniversary. It's like, I'm so sad to have lost this woman. But she was sick. She was not well. In so many ways that I'll have to get into, but, like, what kind of, like, sane, healthy woman mother lets their child move down with their 18-year-old sister, where I was, like, drinking nightly as a high school student, just, like, I mean, it could have been really bad. And also then, like, let's not even, like, what am I saying? I'm skimming over the fact that, like, putting my sisters in this position, my 18-year-old sister to raise her 15-year-old daughter or sister, and my other sister who had just had a baby, you know, like, it's a lot. So that's definitely more to come on a different episode. I don't know if any of that made sense. I mean, between this glass and a half of wine and the exhaustion from this weekend, that could have been interesting for y'all. Whew. So that might have been a very hard to follow. And it's not like, oh, it's hard to follow because you're drunk and not telling the story right. It's like hard to follow because that's my life, and, like, fucking tell me about it. You know what I mean? People ask me questions about my life. I'm like, let me ask my sisters. Let me just verify that really quick, because some of the stuff I go to say sounds made up, and it's just not. Like, I go to make sure, like, I want to verify this because it sounds like I'm making this story up. Like, this did happen, right? I think it would be fun to have my 3 sisters on at one time, and we just, like, maybe do, like, a part 1, part 2, part 3 episode of just, like, our lives. Oh my God. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe that's a bad idea. We'll see. So that's that 10-year anniversary of my mom's passing, and how I ended up getting from Washington State to California with no parental guardian at all. But look at me now. I'm in fucking Texas. I mean, people do this shit all the time. It's fine. Everything's fine. Oh, my wine of the week. I almost cut a bitch last week. And I try to practice kindness all the time, but I'm telling you, it's like you really don't know what somebody's going through. And it's obviously last week I was not going through. I was going through a lot, and I was not not doing my best, not putting my best foot out there, you know? On my mother's dead day anniversary, I am out shopping at Marshall's because what would my mother have been doing if she was alive? She would be out shopping at Marshall's. Would it be shopping or stealing though? Because she used to switch the price tags on items at Marshall's and steal them. So that's how I wanted to go and feel close to my mom, was go shop at Marshall's. I didn't steal that day. Okay? I was not stealing. But anyway, I'm just like going through, buying shit I don't need, love, 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 having so much fun, enjoying it to the fullest. Like crying in Marshall's. My mom wouldn't be prouder. You know, she couldn't be prouder. I don't often go to the dress section at Marshall's. I really like Nordstrom Rack, but I don't really venture there in the dress section at Marshall's. But I saw this girl walk by with a 2-piece hot orange set, and I was like, ooh, that's cute. Where'd she get it? So I went to go follow where she might have gotten it from. And I ended up filling my cart with so many good options. I knew that half of them weren't going to work. Like, I knew I wasn't going to spend the boatload of money. And I'm not really a big try-oner. I like to just buy, go try on at home, and then return. But I like balling on a budget. All like 20 different dresses. I had 20. Yeah, because I had 2. They only allowed 10 in the dressing room at a time. And I had 2 times of 10. What am I trying to say? I had 2 groups of 10. So anyway, my wine of the week is I'm trying these clothes on, and I realize that some of them are hooked with a connector, you know, so you don't steal it. And so I've gone through about 7 or 8 of them, tried on the ones that I can. I come out, I exchange a few, I go back, do the whole drill, blah, blah, blah. And this woman's very serious about her job, which, like, all due respect, lady, but, like, you ain't saving the world, okay? She's counting each individual item. And so, like, one item I had was, like, a 3-piece set. So that counted as 3 items. Anyway, so she's going through, you know, measuring them, counting them. I go in the fitting room. I get all naked, tits out in this nasty fucking dust bunny dressing room. And I go to try it on. And it's connected with the connector. So you don't steal. And I'm like, oh, my fucking God. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. So I put my real clothes back on, which is just annoying. Like, it's just annoying. You know what I'm talking about. So I go back out there with the 5 items that are all connected. I look through them. I'm like, oh my God, all 5 of these need to be disconnected. So I go to the lady. I'm like, hi, can you please disconnect these so I can try them on? And she's like, oh, you need to go to the register. And I was like, well, why? No, I need to try them on. I don't know if I want to buy them yet. And she's like, they only have the disconnector at the register. So you want me, so I've been trying on clothes. You want me to go all the way to the register, like wait in line, go to the side. You don't have a portable, why don't you have a portable one back here? And I could catch myself becoming rude, you know? And it's just like not this lady's fault that my mom died. And it's not this lady's fault that they don't have a disconnector, whatever the fuck it's called, back at the dressing room. But tell me, who at Marshall's has not thought of having a portable disconnector back at the dressing room? How many times has she had to tell that to somebody in that one day? And furthermore, that should become part of her spiel when she's counting the 10 detailed 3 fucking per item piece things that she's counting. She should say, hey, bitch, these 3 items are connected. Anything that you have connected, you need to go get disconnected at the register before you try them on. But no, you let me walk into the dressing room, get all naked, and go to try this thing on. Whew, I'm getting hot thinking about it. But it was like not the day. You know what I mean? And so like, I said, okay. So you want me to walk all the way to the register, get them disconnected, come back, get a new dressing room. There was a line for the dressing room. Okay. She said, yeah. Which, again, like not her fault. She did nothing wrong. Who designed this at Marshall's? Who made this decision? And fucking fix it. It's wild. That's it. That's the episode. Whoever needs to get in Marshall's and put that idea back there, or maybe just this location, like, fuck if I know, but that was just absolute cockamamie, and I can't even believe that I had, and nothing, by the way, I went to the register, I got them all taken off, I went back, I tried them all on, none of the ones that I got disconnected, I purchased, so it was just a big waste of time. So whiners, thank you for joining me. For real, gotta go get on this work call. Everything's gonna be fine. Love you so much. Like, subscribe, follow, leave a review, send in your ideas, all the things. Gotta go. See you next Thursday. Love you. Bye.